Hello and welcome to Between the Whistles, a variety hockey podcast from three NHL bettors. I'm your host, Jordan, better known as Shot Props. Joining me, as always, are my amazing co-hosts, Brad, aka Gretzky Betskis, and Tyson, aka Spittin' Picklets. Spittin', Betsky, how we doing today, fellas?
Yeah, doing well. I was just out in Huntington Beach the other weekend going to a 80s music festival, which was hilarious and awesome at the same time. Seeing some people a little bit older than me just killing it. It was great.
Love it.
There-
Spittin'?
Yeah,
There are people older than you?
I know.
Kidding.
I know. I was shocked too. I was shocked.
Yeah, I'm good. Just excited to be back with you guys and talk some puck.
I love it. We've got a great show for you all today. Today's segments include our Around the League news check-in and our quarter way through the season NHL awards update. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Welcome to our first segment, Around the League, where we look at our favorite news stories. And up first, are the boys back? Which teams are bouncing back, or are they who we think they are? Betsky, we're going to you first.
Yeah, well, Edmonton's been pretty much the topic of conversation around the league for probably most of the season now. And we are recording this the day after they absolutely went duck hunting and came home with a bunch of carcasses, just absolutely whooped the Ducks. McDavid had 5 points. They are coming off a shutout of the Capitals with a 5-0 win. We're kind of up and down when they made the coaching change. They didn't have the best road trip, but ended on a really solid note and then had a really solid home game. I mean, the first thing that pops off for me is the McDavid 5-point night. You got to be feeling good. And then as a capper, seeing all of these guys kind of going off against a team that should be much worse than them felt good. I don't know if Edmonton's out of the murk yet. I think they still got to figure out the goaltending, but things are looking much brighter. Now, isn't the whole thing that at American Thanksgiving, if you're not in the playoffs, you have a 75% chance of not getting in?
I think it's even higher than 75%.
I think so too. I think it's like 80% chance you don't get in.
Yeah.
Can they do
something
it?
like that.
And if they do it, what does this do to the heart? Which we'll probably be talking about in a little bit.
Well, yeah, we'll circle back to
That's
that.
interesting. What I will say is it is like, do we remember the St. Louis Blues back in 2019 where they were dead last on January 1st? January. And then they came back, made the playoffs, and won the Stanley Cup. If you look at the standings right now, yes, they're like way out, like they're out of the playoffs. I think they're 7th in the division, but it's only like, let me look, 12 points or something from the last wild card to where they are. And they had 3 games in hand on Seattle at the time that I saw that. So like, it's possible. Yeah, they're 6 points out of the last playoff spot with 2 games in hand to Seattle. So that they are so not out of it.
2 things I think I will say. One, according to Money Puck's playoff odds, and for anyone who knows my work, big Money Puck data fan, Edmonton Oilers 56.9% chance of making the playoffs as of right now.
Jeez.
That is wild.
Yeah. So versus the Ducks, who are ahead of them in the standings currently, listed as a 2.1% chance of making the playoffs. So, I mean, I agree with the Ducks one for sure. We'll see about Edmonton. The other thing, like you said, if teams can turn it on at the right time, they can go on some crazy runs. Let's just look at Florida last year and what they did. Kind of made it into the playoffs on a strong run, took out the favorites, I would argue, in the Bruins.
Yep. And Toronto right after that.
And went on a nice run all the way, right? So, I mean, almost all the way.
You could almost say the same with Vegas. I mean, I know Winnipeg wasn't quite the same thing as trying to face the Bruins, but I mean, game 1 against Edmonton, did you have any question that Edmonton wasn't going to get out of that series?
Yeah. So yeah, for me, my take, I would expect Edmonton to be in the playoffs, but it is a tough road. spitting. There's some other teams that are trying to find their identity. Anyone stand out to you?
Well, you just mentioned them. I just want to highlight the Florida Panthers. The boys are back. Literally, they are back. They got Montour back. They got Ekblad back. Their health. Barkov was out for a few games. Now he's back. They're firing. They're second in the Atlantic Division, despite not having all those guys in the lineup. OEL, Canucks legend, has been carrying the defense for them. And they're 6 points behind the Bruins, who suck. For the division title. So I honestly think it's their division to lose at this point. Like, they're so heavy powered and overpowered. That's better. But yeah, Florida boys are back.
I like it. Betsky, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Ice Cats, so I love what I'm seeing. I think they really weathered the storm too. I mean, it wasn't even just Ekblad and Montour being out. Tkachuk had a big offseason surgery, was it?
Yeah, but he came back. I don't know what it was.
He broke
this bone.
The sternum, right?
Sternum.
Ow.
Yeah. Yeah. So he wasn't 100% from the get-go, though. And Bobrovsky's been great for them. Insane stat. I think they are near the bottom, maybe 30th as far as shots against in the league. So they're suppressing shots and they're still firing away, and now they got all their firepower back. And again, I think Rodriguez is such a good piece to replace Duclair with. They are a complete team in my eyes, and I would say probably the most complete team in the Atlantic.
Yeah,
I think that would be fair. Maybe not Metro.
Great. Verhaeghe's firing at will.
Reinhart is low-key like killing it this year. He's like at the top of the charts for point totals, and he's not really talked about.
No.
Which is wild.
No, and I mean, and Barkov's been incredible again. He's always been one of my favorite players since he entered the league, and I just think what he brings to that team as a two-way centerman. I mean, he's Kopitar-ish to me, And that, I mean, speaking of another team that's really starting to settle into the top of the list.
Byfield has arrived.
Yep. I don't think people were doubting the Kings as much as maybe people were doubting Florida going into the season, or doubting where Edmonton is now that they were near the bottom of the barrel. But the Kings look very legit, and all my goaltending concerns may need to get thrown out of the window. So
yeah, and I'm just looking at basic stats, if you will. Cam Talbot, 3rd in goals against average, 2nd in save percentage. Kind of a journeyman coming to this team, and he's looked great.
Yeah, good for him. Definitely having a resurgence.
And I think the last team we had on our list, and I don't know if we can say the boys are back at this point, but we'll see what you fellas think. The New Jersey Devils. A lot of hype coming into the season. Started off very strong, and they've been dealing with some injuries. What do we think of the Devils at this point?
Well, I'm just surprised at where they sit in the standings. They are 7th in their division. Like, I know we just talked about being out of the playoffs come Thanksgiving, but are you guys going to be surprised if they pass Philly and Washington and the Islanders in the standings? No. Probably not. Like, I still think that they're going to be in the playoffs for sure. Let me see. They're only 4 points back of the last wild card. So, and they're 3rd last in the East. So it's all a very tight race, and I still expect them to get there. Heischer came back. They got Jack Hughes back. They're still missing Timo Meier, I believe. But I still think they're going to make the playoffs. But if they're serious about being contenders, I think they need to adjust their goaltending. Yeah, a little bit for sure.
Yeah, the Schmid we saw at some point in the playoffs, or Schmid. I always mess that.
Well, it was Schmid in the playoffs. Now it's Schmid.
Okay, thank you. So at least there's a reason for my mistake there. He had some remarkable performances in the playoffs and throughout last year, and just not seeing what they were hoping for this year. So hopefully they can lock it down on defense. Moving on to our next story. The NHL has announced that they will be looking to do an international tournament. This tournament, per Greg Wyshynski of ESPN, will feature 4 teams from the United States, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. This will be the first international competition that is NHL involved since the Olympics of 2014 or the World Cups in 2016, which was a preseason tournament. There are, with only 4 countries, some notable absences of players who won't be there. David Pastrnak, Draisaitl, Kevin Fiala, Mo Seider, not to mention all of the Russian players whose teams are not permitted to participate in international competition as of right now. What do we think? Are we intrigued by this tournament? Disappointed by the structure as it is? What are we thinking?
You want to go, Gretz, or should I?
I guess I'm intrigued. I mean, leave it to the NHL to just kind of fumble a layup, though. So I'm not going to have high expectations here, but it could be fun. More hockey is always good. I'm a little surprised that they're wanting to get involved in this. I mean, we have a couple other international tournaments, but it is always fun to watch teams kind of compete with all their countrymen and on bigger stages and kind of across the world. So I'm intrigued. I mean, World Juniors is the tournament that I love as far as kind of the international ones. Olympics were amazing at one point. I really hope we can get back to that being kind of the marquee one that we only get once every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to not watch hockey in the summer, right? And it's going to be in the summer, right? Or off season?
No, I thought it was like in February. I think.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
we're February 2025. So I think.
Yeah. So when the Olympics would be, they're doing that just the next year.
It'll be like it'll be the All-Star break. I'm assuming it'll replace All-Star weekend,
which fine by me.
No skills,
I have an opinion on this. Like, I understand everything going on with Russia and stuff. You can't have that team, but like allow a team to be like the rest of the world or whatever.
I agree.
Like do another country, like, I don't know. You could do like Czech Republic and Slovakia, or Czechia, I think they call it now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I think you could definitely have a team, like enough NHLers to form a team for that. And then you can do the rest of the world. So then you get like the German players and the Swiss players and the Russian players, and then make it 6 teams. Because I think that would be more fun. Aren't they also doing it so it'll be Canada and the States in North America, like best of 3 or whatever, and then they'll do Finland and Sweden over in Europe, and then they'll meet somewhere.
You're right.
The finals.
So as of right now, it's basically 2 mini tournaments between the North American teams and Sweden and Finland, the Scandinavian countries.
Nice, sure.
Scandinavia.
Yeah,
we'll edit that out.
So.
So yeah, and you're right. I think it's best of 3, and then the 2 winners come together and play. So I agree with you. Would have been nice to see some sort of Team Europe or Team World or another under 23 team like we had before. Showcase some of that youth that might not make the teams otherwise. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I think it could have been more, but it is nice to see some international hockey. It's been a while. Hopefully we can get back to the Olympics. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm excited for it. Like I want to, like, best on best is the best.
Yeah, it really is, and we haven't seen it in a long
time. Like McDavid has never played for Canada. Never played.
Yeah,
for Team Canada. That's absurd.
Yeah, because he was on the under 23 team at that last one.
Exactly. So
yeah, we want McDavid Matthews or whatever matchups we want to see.
It's been too long. Like we need it. So like I'm happy that it's coming back, but it could just be so much better.
That wraps up our Around the League segment. We'll move on to our next segment soon. Welcome to our NHL Awards segment, where we'll check in on today's odds and preseason odds of some of the major NHL individual awards. First up, we are going to take a look at the Hart Trophy. For context, preseason odds are, I believe, an aggregate of all odds when they were released in late June. And the current odds, I am using DraftKings. So what we're going to do is try and have Spittin' and Betsky guess. So we'll start with the preseason odds. For all the awards, we're going to look at 1 through 3, but for Hart, we're going to look at 1 through 4 because Connor McDavid was a complete runaway to start the season. At even money.
That's ridiculous.
So I'll give you that one for free, but 2 through 4, who do we think at the preseason was leading the Hart Trophy odds, and either one of you can go. You're working together here.
Mm-hmm. So I did not bet on this award, so I don't really know. But
yeah, I mean, this is one to avoid at the beginning of the season, but now it got really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Matthews has to be on there, the Toronto Buzz. What do you think, Gretz? Should that be one of our guesses?
I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Matthews. The other ones I'm thinking like
you come up with your 3.
I don't know about Pasta.
No? Okay. I'm just going to spitball names. Draisaitl. Do you think he would be up there with McDavid? I feel like
I don't think he was top 3. No? What about Jack Hughes?
That was going to be my next guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm thinking centers that score a lot.
McKinnon.
That's kind of the other one that would be my top 3. But
so Matthews,
real
McKinnon,
quickly before we lock those 3 in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't think it was anybody from Vancouver, LA, Ducks.
Robertson
Flames.
keeps in my head, but I don't think ahead of any of those guys.
Nobody on Chicago. Oh, what about Kucherov?
I don't think
big
so.
Name.
But I don't think so. I think there was a little sour taste in all their mouths because they lost in the playoffs to the Leafs last year. So I don't think he would have had a lot of, I don't know whether I'm talking you out of this, but I kind of like our other 3 better.
I'll talk you into it. 30 seconds to come up with your final 3.
Shit.
All right. I kind of want to put Cooch over Jack.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
I'm okay with not, but I don't think Jack had put up the points to be favored over the other 2 guys we had said at that point in his career.
Matthews and McKinnon for sure. It's just Cooch or Jack.
I think. All
right, let's go Cooch.
And then in order, Matthews, McKinnon, Cooch.
Sure.
And then Hughes. Then can we do a little asterisk of Hughes
and
number 5? Draisaitl
okay.
6.
So here was the top 4 according to the list that I have as the opening odds. McDavid number 1 plus
nailed
100.
it. Nailed it.
All right.
Let's go. We're 1-0.
Number 2. No surprise. Nathan McKinnon plus 900.
Well, he's on there.
So he was in your list.
Yeah.
Number 3, we talked about him, but I don't think you locked him in. Leon Draisaitl plus 1,000.
Dang.
I said it.
And number 4, not mentioned at all. Matthew Tkachuk plus 1,200.
Crazy.
He had a strong year last year. So
yeah.
Okay. Just on the bubble, real quick. Kirill Kaprizov plus 1,600. David Pasternak plus 1,600. Austin Matthews plus 1,600.
Wow, he's low.
I can't believe Matthews is that low.
Yeah.
So there you go. They were predicting a big season from Nylander. The book's new. No, so very good. So that's where we started. Again, those top 4: McDavid, McKinnon, Draisaitl, Tkachuk. Today, the list looks a little different. Who do you have as your top 3 now?
I know McDavid's still number 1.
Yeah,
I saw it this morning, and
this one I'm on DraftKings right now, just for the audience. I'll say that.
Okay.
I saw who was favorite right now. I didn't see anyone else.
Yeah.
I would assume Jack Hughes is up there because of his start, even though he got injured. Kucherov has to be there. He's crushing it.
I feel like that may be your 3. Well, could Matthews be there now?
No, I think Pasta.
Okay.
Because I think Petey was up there, but I think Petey kind of fell off a little bit.
He fell a little bit now.
So I think it's Pasta, Jack Hughes, and Cooch.
In that order?
No. I didn't do an order. If we had to do an order.
You don't have to do an order. It's fine.
I think it would be.
Well, let's lock in our order.
Okay. I would say it would go Jack Hughes, Cooch, and then Pasta.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, and then McDavid number 1. So that's our top 4. Yeah. Should we do a 5th for shits and giggles? No shits and giggles.
No.
Why don't we keep Draisaitl at 5?
Well, I don't want to be wrong. So if we just guess, if we just
all
guess,
right. I think
McDavid.
I'll give you. I think you have number 5. You kind of said him. So according to the list right now, Pasternak leading the way, plus 400.
Oh.
Jack Hughes at plus 500. Connor McDavid plus 600. Kucherov plus 800.
Wow.
Elias Pettersson.
Yeah! Let's go.
So
where's Clayton Keller?
Clayton Keller.
He's working on it. This
Not list is only like 300 people, so no, I'm kidding. Actually, yeah, he's not on the list though, that I can see.
Oh, shocker.
Oh no, he is plus 15,000 if you wanted to take a gamble.
Yeah, not bad.
So there you go.
And Corey Perry, I assume somewhere.
Corey Perry is definitely not.
Yeah,
sure. He's on some lists, I'm sure, but
yeah. He's got somebody's heart.
Yeah. That was gonna be my joke. Attaboy.
There we go. Of those top 5, if you had to pick a winner today, and then we'll move on to our next award. Who you taking for the heart? Or it could be if you want to pick somebody out of that top 5. So
if I were to bet right now, I would take McDavid at plus 600.
Yeah, if I can get McDavid at plus 600, I'm slamming that now. I mean, again,
I like that.
Coming off a 5.9, like, yeah, he's got some catch up to do, but I'm sure he just made a lot.
Is anyone going to be surprised if he doesn't do that?
He narrowed that catch up, yeah.
And let's be honest, the goaltending isn't going to solve itself. So unless they make a move, they're still going to need to consistently score a lot of goals to win. And McDavid's going to be the one driving that force. And I don't expect them really to make a goaltending move because they have no wiggle room anywhere.
Yeah, so, and every team knows they're desperate.
Exactly.
Holland has even said he won't make a trade until the team proves that they deserve one.
That's wild. What do you mean? How are you going to keep? Whatever.
Right, you just spanked the Ducks. That should be enough, right?
Okay.
Save your job. Save your job,
our
man.
favorite would be I would take McDavid at plus 600, but who do you think is actually going to win? Do you think it's McDavid?
So, okay, and this is a huge reason why I mean, it's great that you can get McDavid at plus odd, but on top of it, if McDavid pulls the Oilers to the playoffs, it's a done deal in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they miss the playoffs, you can't really give it to him, even if he's the leading scorer in the league.
Totally.
Can you?
This is all hinging on them making the playoffs.
So then I want to say I would go Hughes because I have a feeling he's going to be near the top in point production. And I think now that we have a healthy Jersey team finally, he's going to be able to they're going to start skyrocketing up the stands, especially if they do anything with goaltending.
Mm.
Well, but then there's McKinnon looking at me pissed off.
I'll throw out a different take. I'm going to go Pasta. I know he's the leader right now, but you look at the score, leading scorers. It's all in groups, right? You got the group of Colorado guys, you got the group of Tampa guys, a bunch of Leafs, and he's there by himself representing Boston. Like he is carrying the team offensively. And Hughes worries me injury wise. We've seen it several years where he's not going to play 82 games. I don't think that's not who he is. So that worries me. And then you got the dark horse of McDavid who can turn it on. We know he's the best player in the world. Not playing like that up until yesterday, but there you go. So yeah, I think Pasta at plus 400 is the leader for a reason. And he's doing it a lot offensively for his team. And Spittin', any thoughts from you before we move on?
I'm not talking about Boston.
You don't have to. No, not past that. I know.
Who would I? Well, yeah, I would bet McDavid. My favorite, I guess, you could say Jack Hughes because if he does stay healthy and how he started, and he's going to face the same problem that McDavid has. He's going to have to bring this team up from where they are in the standings, to make the playoffs. So, I mean, you kind of saw what the team was like when they didn't have him. They were terrible, and that's why they plummeted down the standings. So if he comes back and that's the reason they, move up the standings and make the playoffs, I think it's his.
There you go. Moving on to our next award, we've got the Vezina, best goaltender in the NHL. The 2024 opening odds we're going to look at the top 3 to open the season, and then we'll see where things are at now. So once again, you're working together. Who were our top 3 Vezina Trophy candidates heading into the year?
Allmark.
Yep. Saros and Sorokin.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Maybe not Saros then.
But what about Shesterkin?
No, I don't think he was.
Are you sure? Because I could see it being the New York goalies. Sorokin. I think you're right on Sorokin.
Sorokin had to be on it.
Yeah, I think you're right with Sorokin.
I feel like Saros was on it.
Really?
But man, I mean, it's dependent on wins a little bit too. So the problem with Allmark is Swayman.
Yeah, but he had such a good Vezina year. I think they gave it to him. I think they gave him the favorite.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
Don't worry about ranking them. Just get the top 3.
Give me that one. Give me that one, and I'll let you pick the third.
Sorokin, we're both in agreement. You want Allmark?
Yeah. Sorokin's locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Bitten is pushing for Allmark, and Betsky's got to pick the third.
I think it's got to be Ottinger.
Okay. So Shesterkin, Saros, Ottinger, or Hellebuyck? No.
Wait, are we doing 5 or 3?
Just 3, but those are our 3 that we're.
Oh, I see what you're doing. About. Yeah, no, not Hellebuyck for sure. Did Shesterkin? I just think his year last year was too bad.
Okay, so Ottinger
to open top 3. He's probably top 5.
Okay, so Sorokin, Ottinger, Allmark. Final answer.
Sure.
All right, 1 for 3.
Wow.
Though you mentioned all 3. And Betsky, I'm surprised he didn't. You planted your flag on this guy. You said him a couple times. UC Saros was number 2. Ilya Sorokin was number 1. No surprise there. For both of you.
I was wrong.
And number 3, Igor Shesterkin.
Yeah, I said it.
Wow.
So rounding it out, Hellebuyck was 4th at +700. Vasi at +800, despite his. I don't know if we actually knew that he was missing time at that point in June. I don't recall.
I sniped his under wins on Bet365.
There you go. Wow. Pays to pay attention. Yeah. And then rounding out the list, Jake Ottinger +1,200, Linus Ullmark +1,800.
There he is.
It was a bit down. So I think it is.
Boston's always screwing me.
Well, I think it was the Swayman effect, and then they lost all of their centers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's
fair. I still think deal. I thought they gave it to him, but.
Now, you were pretty good. I mean, you guys had all the names there. You just didn't lock in the right ones. What about right now? We've got 3 folks at +700 or better. With today's rankings.
3 are tied for 700.
There's 1 at +550 and 2 at 700.
Okay, I gotcha.
Do you want to say it or should I?
Oh, we'll give you one of them, Spin. Who do you want to say?
No. I want to see if Gretzky wants to say it.
I mean, it's still got to be Sorokin.
Okay.
I think Shesterkin's in it for sure.
All right. Who else?
And then I actually do think Allmark is there now.
No. Demko's number 1. Demko's number 1. It's got to be Demko.
I actually do think he's top 3.
I think he's 1. Because who else is playing better than him?
I don't know, but Sorokin has more of a name brand. It could be Demko number 1. Yeah. Okay. So I think Demko, Sorokin, Shesterkin are the 3, though, right?
Anybody you want to change on the list, Spittin'?
I don't know. I don't think Sorokin's up there. I don't think he's having that good of a year.
Who would you put above him? He didn't have much better of a season last year. They're just winning less.
They are allowing a lot more goals and a lot more shots.
Varley's having
Varlamov's having a better year, I think.
He's playing a lot less, but he's having some.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm fine moving Sorokin down. Again. I would do Allmark then. Allmark, Demko, Allmark, or Demko, Shesterkin, Allmark in that order.
Okay,
probably.
Aiden Hill. Any love for that guy?
That's a good one.
Not top 3.
Aiden Hill's a good one though.
Yeah, I would do Ottinger over Allmark.
Yeah. Okay. What about? I mean.
What about Skinner on Edmonton?
Yeah. Jack Campbell, baby. Okay, so what? So Demko, Shesty.
Otter Pop.
All right. Let's roll with it.
Congratulations, gentlemen. That is the exact order that I had.
Okay, wait. Say it again.
Demko.
At what?
Demko at +550. Igor and Otter at +700. Hellebuyck at +800. And then it gets interesting. We've got 3 guys at +1200. Aiden Hill, Jeremy Swayman above Ullmark.
Whoa.
And Ilya
Whoa.
Sorokin at plus 1,200, and then Sorokin plus 1,400. Cam Talbot getting disrespected at plus 2,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so an interesting list. Any thoughts on those ones?
Okay, I'm a homer. Obviously, I love the Canucks. I wouldn't take Demko at plus 550. I know he's having a great year, but I just wouldn't take him as the favorite. Who really knows if we can hold on to it? We haven't really seen it yet. Who I would take out of that, like, I don't know. That's tough. Shesterkin probably.
Yep. That's my pick, and I am probably going to put a unit on it at this point. The Rangers have been
good,
insane this season. Yep, and you know, goalies. I was talking with my buddy yesterday. Goalies have some of the weirdest career trajectories. I think if you want to be an elite goalie, you're still probably going to have a fourth of the seasons you play as pretty mediocre, and that means you're elite. A good goalie is probably like 60-40. And then a average goalie is probably going to have 40% of their career good and 60 bad, and then bad goalies are, you know.
Okay, I got a dark horse.
All right.
I talked about him earlier. He just returned. What if Vasi just goes on a run?
Plus 4,000 right now is what I'm saying.
That's crazy. Do you think he missed too much of the season?
I think he missed too much time.
Okay.
Because in the end of the day, wins matter for this award. And I don't think Vasi can get as many wins as Shesterkin. In the end of the day, that's what's going to make the difference, I think.
Yeah.
But,
there you go.
You know, it's been about a quarter of the season.
Yeah, nobody on the list really stands out to me at their current price.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, like, if we're making bets right now, I'm probably not gonna take anyone. I kind of like the Talbot look, but I don't think he's a big enough name to warrant getting that.
Like, odds wise, I think that's a fair price, but I also don't think he's gonna win.
Yeah.
So
I mean, how long do you think he holds this up?
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's our Vezina look, and we've got one more award we're going to go over today, the James Norris Trophy for the NHL's best defenseman. So heading into the year for this one, we can do a top 5 if you'd like, because 4 and 5 are tied, and 1 is pretty obvious. So our top 5 heading into the year for the Norris Trophy:
Makar, Fox,
Heiskanen.
Yep. I think those were the top 3.
Okay.
Then I want to say,
okay, how big do you think the odds are? Because I bet on Quinn Hughes, and I know his odds were plus 900. So do you think the top 5 goes into the thousands? Probably.
Yes.
Ooh. So I would
this is from June still, so this is very early. I'll tell you, number 5 is plus 1,200.
Okay.
So this is probably from before, a little bit before your Hughes bet, just to give you some context.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of like Hughes.
I don't.
Okay. Me neither.
For top 5, I don't.
Okay.
Yet.
I have another guy.
Okay.
Darlene.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
what about Yossi?
I was just gonna say Yossi.
Anyone else from No, not
like
yet.
Hedman, no.
No. McAvoy. Probably not.
I had thought about him, but screw the Bruins.
Nobody on Carolina.
Yeah, definitely
not.
Matt Dumba. I don't. Yeah.
Nobody on Vegas, right? Theodore.
No.
Pietrangelo. Ronan.
Too many just good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like our 5.
I do too. I can't think of any other. Oh, what about Carlson? I don't believe he was ever that high.
I assume, just for clarification, because we have 2 defensemen named Carlson, we're talking about Erik Karlsson, right?
Yes.
It could be John. I'm just checking.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
William?
true.
Just kidding.
Okay, so your 5 were Makar, Fox, Dahlin, Heiskanen, and Yossi.
I kind of like Erik Karlsson better than Yossi.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because I remember looking at Yossi and thinking he was bettable and further down than I expected.
Okay, then we'll lock that in.
I'm fine with that. And then I think just for shits and giggles, order Makar, Fox, Heiskanen, Dahlin, and then who is our fifth?
Erik Karlsson.
Karlsson.
Erik Karlsson.
Yep.
Okay, that's his list. Let me go my list. I'll go Makar, Fox, and then I think it's Erik Karlsson, and then I'll go Heiskanen, and then Dahlin.
Okay. You're close. We said all the names that were in the top 5.
If you say Quinn Hughes, Gretzky, we need to have a talk about it.
Oh, man.
You missed one in the top 5. Makar was first, plus 175 to open the year. Adam Fox, plus 500 at number 2. Rasmus Dahlin, plus 800 at number 3. Charlie McAvoy.
You said him.
Tied with Miro Heiskanen at plus 1,200. Right behind them was Quinn Hughes. And then after that, a bunch of the more veteran defensemen, Yossi, Hamilton, Karlsson, Hedman. So there you go. That was to come into the season. Now, again, things are a little bit different. Who are we liking? If you want it, we can do the top 5 again.
Yeah. Well, it's Quinn, Makar.
Quinn, baby.
Yep.
Quinn, Makar. And that's honestly it. Like, I don't think anyone else is going to win this trophy.
Okay. You know what? I'll just stop. In the interest of time, you're right. I'll stop you there because we have Quinn Hughes at plus 160. We have Cale Makar at plus 220. And then third place is plus 1,500. Exactly like you said.
Yeah.
The odds say it's one of those two that are going to win this. Just for fun, rounding out the top 5 now, Miro Heiskanen and Rasmus Dahlin at plus 1,500. Adam Fox at plus 2,000. Nobody else is above plus 3,000.
This is crazy to think the lack of true top 1 defensemen or premier guys, like super big name defensemen we have in the league right now. It doesn't feel that way until we just talked about it. And it's Quinn, is a riser and kind of a surprising. I don't think anybody really would have expected that outside of Spittin.
Come
on. But I mean, when you're thinking through teams, so many don't have that piece of the puzzle.
And a lot of the ones that do, they're getting a little bit older, right? Like Edmund, Yossi, Karlsson, Burns, like all these guys who lit up the scoreboards for years are just slowing down a little bit or playing a different role.
Yep. Wow. Interesting.
So any final closing thoughts on our awards recap a quarter through the season? Or do you want to highlight any tickets you have at this point?
Oh, Quinn Hughes plus 900, baby. That is, I'm a little worried about it because Cale Makar is doing just exactly what Quinn Hughes is doing. Maybe the tiebreaker is who's higher in the standings, and that is probably going to be the Avalanche. But do they want to give it to Cale Makar again? Like,
I will say, I think it'd be smart for them to split it up, even though Erik Karlsson just got it. But
yeah, I know that's
Makar is going to get it for many more years.
Totally.
Especially after our little exercise here and realizing how shallow this pool is going to get.
Yeah.
But also another thing is like
till Shimmishev breaks into the league.
That guy's nasty. Cale Makar hasn't been able to stay healthy. So I think he could definitely fall off a bit. And as long as Quinn stays healthy, I think I have a good shot at it. They kind of want to mix everything up.
For sure this year.
Yeah, but that's some good value that I got, like plus 900 to plus 160 now.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm sweating though. It's November.
One thing that I do think it could come down to is I don't know how many goals Cale Makar has, but Quinn is really shooting the puck.
Yep.
And that could be a difference too, because
he's already tied his season high.
Yeah,
and
so
it's November.
But roughly, like I don't have the exact numbers, but I think Karlsson had 100-ish points last year, and it was like 80 assists or maybe more than that.
I don't know.
They were so skewed to assists, and that's not uncommon for defensemen. If Quinn's going to keep scoring and shooting as much as he is, that's another edge, and as well as being responsible defensively, because he's also leading the league in plus minus as of right now, or was last I checked.
Which I think is crazy too, because you don't get a plus on power play, so it's not all of his production's coming on the power play, which is good. I think like the first 10 games through the year, he wasn't on the ice for a goal against.
Yeah, so just crazy.
So a couple more things I wanted to highlight. I'm just going to talk about the Canucks, guys. Come on now. But Demko's the favorite for the Vezina. Petey's top 5 for the Hart, and Rick Tocchet is the favorite for
the Jack Adams.
Yeah, head coach. So
I took a piss next to Tocchet after seeing Uncut Gems, which is a movie about gambling, which was pretty ironic considering what he got himself into.
Wasn't it a Netflix movie?
Yeah. No.
Was
that was in theaters.
Oh, okay. Wow, yeah. Interesting.
They got Netflix in the theaters in Arizona? That's crazy.
Alamo Theater, right around the holidays.
There you go. Very cool.
Nice.
Movie ended. Went to the bathroom and I was staying right next to Taki.
What did his belt buckle look like?
I wasn't looking, dude.
Oh my gosh. And with that, we will wrap up our awards segment. Coming up next, the end of the show. That brings us to the end of this week's episode. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be back soon with another episode. Until then, you can find more great content from Spittin'. Where can they find your work?
Find me at Spittin' Picklets on X. I'm dropping daily cheat sheets for player props and power play, and also weekly NFL sheets, position versus defense, and also find some Canucks content on there. I'm writing for Fansided, covering the Canucks. So if you want some daily best bets on their games, just follow me on there.
Love it. And Betsky, where can the people find your work?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter or X as well. Gretzky Betskis. We get the plural one because somebody's still hanging on to that Gretzky Betsky name. But and otherwise, I write for Betting News. We do a show Puckett every Tuesday as well. And you can find me in the Parlay Science Discord.
Very nice. And you can find all of my content at shopprops.com, NHL data to help you bet better. You can also find me on Twitter/X at shopprops. Thank you all for watching or listening, and we will see you soon.